Stipe Miocic is the new UFC heavyweight champion of the world. He played spoiler at UFC 198 to Fabricio Werdum fighting in his home country and walks away with the title after knocking out Fabricio Werdum in the first round. In the post-fight press conference, Werdum said that he got reckless, and he was pushing forward with punches, and Miocic just caught him with the perfect counter right on the chin, fell into the fence, and it was all over. He jumped over the fence screaming, I'm a world champ, I'm a world champ, and it was fantastic to see. But it was also amazing to see how silent the crowd was in Curitiba, Brazil. They cheer on their athletes like they're heroes, and Werdum has been a great champion, but it just was not his night. The same can be said for Vitor Belfort, who was stopped also in the first round by Jacare Souza. It looked like it was going to be a firefight from the very beginning, and it was. Both of them volleying punches back and forth after just a few seconds of being tentative, and in the end, it was Jacare's top control that really dictated the pace of the fight, and Vitor Belfort looked like he was going to give his back a couple of times, and he just got pounded out. He got cut very early in the first round, and that was it for him. So Jacare Souza looks like he might challenge Luke Rockhold for his middleweight strap after UFC 199 when he fights Chris Weidman. And if he beats Chris Weidman for the second time, it looks like Jacare will get his chance. If you remember, Jacare was the champion in Strikeforce, and Luke Rockhold took his Strikeforce title back in the day. So it would be an interesting second part to their fight history if they were able to fight later on. The debut of Chris Cyborg, defeating Leslie Smith in dramatic fashion. Some might say it was an early stoppage. It certainly did look that way to Leslie Smith, who was not happy, who protested not only in the cage but on social media immediately following the event. She was getting it pretty good by Cyborg. I don't know if the outcome would have been any different, but in my mind, it could have gone on a little bit longer. Shogun Rua took on Corey Anderson and beat him by decision. He had some strong finishes at the end of rounds 1 and 2, and therefore, he took the pretty decent split decision. I don't know if it should have gone to split decision. It was a unanimous decision in my mind when I was watching it. And rounding out the main card, you had Brian Barberena defeat Warley Alves, who was highly favored by the odds makers. So he played spoiler yet again. The last time he played spoiler was against Sage Northcutt. So in his post-fight speech said that he wants to be on the favorite end next time that he competes. Couple things from the undercard. Damian Maia defeats Matt Brown by rear naked choke, and Damian Maia was on Matt Brown's back like a blanket, like a sweater. It was just all over him from the opening bell, and Matt Brown got frustrated because he couldn't do anything. There was nothing that he could do to Damian Maia's jiu-jitsu. It was just too powerful, too overwhelming, and it was like a blanket, and he was just not going anywhere. Also on the undercard, you had Nate Marquardt fighting Thiago Santos. And to be honest, I don't know if Nate Marquardt should be fighting anymore. He's had a few KO losses. I know that his last win against CB Dollaway, put some fire back into him to get him a win. But these KO losses are adding up. I know that he's working with Trevor Whitman, and Trevor Whitman is a very, very smart guy. At this point in time, if I was Trevor Whitman, I would say, Nate, while you've been great, it's time to hang it up. You're seeing this now with quite a few fighters that have been around for a while, looking at Bigfoot Silva, thinking about retirement, looking at, Frank Mir, if he has been flagged by USADA, he might be out completely with a suspension, and he more than likely might have to retire. So, I mean, you're looking at a changing landscape in the UFC, where you're having, people like Minotauro Nogueira retiring, people like Mirko Cro Cop retiring, for various reasons. But you want to see people go out on their terms. But the promotion also needs to be aware of, getting people to really think about what they're doing and looking out for their overall safety, because, long term you want the athletes to be productive outside of the octagon, not just inside it. So looking forward to UFC 199 when you'll have Luke Rockhold and Chris Weidman settle the score after much talking, and it's a very, very anticipated event. So look forward to seeing you then.